Don't come anywhere near me, nowhere in the vicinity within my jab, or you will be getting ironed out. You'll be unconscious.
Stay away from me and the area around me, or I'll hit you so hard you won't be able to breathe, and you'll be snoring on the ground. After their live session, Big John Fury, the former world boxing champion, the fighting man, and Carl Frost promised him a devastating knockout boom, and that he would get what the tiny guys got over it. Large John, you won't be calling names or kicking me in the ass when you see me, that's for sure. However, it seems that Carl Fox is sick and weary of John Fury's antics and would be willing to step up on behalf of the boxing community to put a stop to it as soon as possible. The only thing left for Carl Froch and John Fury to do is engage in the physical fight that they both promised. This comes after their most recent verbal altercation, in which Carl Fury called John Fury disgraceful for headbutting a member of Alexander Usyk's team 5 days prior to his son Tyson Fury's undisputed heavyweight title fight against the Ukrainian. When you see me, you won't be kicking people, and you won't approach me. The latest instance of the heavyweight world champion's father drawing attention during fight week was the chaotic incident in Saudi Arabia that left John, a former boxer and bare-knuckle fighter, with blood streaming down his face. John Fury later apologized, saying that it's just the way things are. But Froz was furious about his antics and the potential harm to boxing's reputation during a historic week. Come on, don't be calling out the Cobra. Fury the fighting man 10-0 on the hard road. You mentioned you would fight anyone not too long ago. I believe it was last year. I'll fight him. I'm a fighter. So you and I, when we have a stadium full of 93,000 people, I'm up for it, my friend. On the first press day of the biggest fight in boxing history, Fury versus Usyk, FR stated on his YouTube channel, what's my favorite thing I remember about the show is how they're uniting for all the belts. Big John Fury, the fighting man, pricks the skinny, small child from Team Usyk with a nut, drops it directly on his face, tears his own face open, bruises the other child, and mocks the reality of boxing by making a fight between menu items actually happen. Joe Egan, also known as Makey Thea, continued, "It's disgusting and disgraceful what he's done. He should be embarrassed. It's not acceptable. Let's see if you can stand up for 3 minutes and swing punches. I'm not sure you can take one on the very land or in the breadbasket." I am not sure why he did it, but there is Team USYK chanting on one side of the room while you're on the other. Fans of Tyson Fury and his group, but Big John Fury wants to be a part of the action and pushes the smallest guy in the room, picking his spots and dropping the nut on him. Guess what happened? He got the worst cut on his skull, bleeding all over his face. What a fool. It's disgusting and terrible that people watching this fight will be young kids trying to get into the sport because of the attention it's bringing to the sport you have. Carl Froch always seems to have an exceptional brutality when it comes to John Fury. He added to his already bitter words saying, "Nobody is calling it out, but that's why I'm here." Fury is a disgrace. John Fury is a big idiot who should be embarrassed for headbutting a member of the opposing side, and then believing it's okay since he's let himself and his family down. Lock him away and keep him out of the way because he's had his fun in his limelight, and he's probably received a warning. He said in closing after retiring with a record of 841, John Fury addressed the criticism by saying that Carl Froch, the former world champion, was a moron, and that he would eventually suffer the same fate as tiny men. Once again, Carl Frost threatened John Fury with even more threats on his YouTube channel. "He won't be coming anywhere near me," he said. "You'll be getting ironed out, unconscious, and snoring before you hit the floor." I think Deontay Wilder finished, so I don't want to take the shine off of Parker by playing down Deontay Wilder, because that was a great performance. They certainly don't want to piss on his parade. Keep your mouth shut and stay out of trouble, or there could be serious consequences for you. Stay out of my way, or I can assure you that it will not end well for you. I don't want to fall out of anyone. I said a few things about you, son. You're defending yourself, son. I get it right. Big John Fury, the bare-knuckle boxing champion, the fighting man, you'll be asleep before you hit the floor. You won't be headbutting Tony Bell either. Fury Tyson, let me just give it to him and conclude it on a pleasant POS note. Tyson, it appears to be sliding. Bell was also brought into the conflict after the two disapproved of his antics, but he remained unfazed by the threat, stating that a face-to-face meeting between the two would prevent it from happening, and that Fury was a liability who would never, ever headbutt him. I'm paid to make forecasts, which is what he said to Speak Sport. Motivate, it's interesting to note that, after an Instagram live session, they were able to extract the insults from each other's hearts. They were then ruthless and brutal with each other, calling each other chit house and a freaking house, which to me indicates that the person calling someone a bottle job is scared. I'm not even sure what that means, but he's calling me a has-been. Why are all these business people from the Caribbean just interested in the men who are currently champions and are getting in fighting, but nobody wants to know? It wasn't long before John Fury left the live session, but it was intense while it lasted. John Fury started Little Man, but he hadn't forgotten the loss that saw him and his son, along with other members of Tyson Fury's team, bow their heads in shame as they left the ring where Tyson Fury suffered his first ever loss. In fact, Carl Froch hadn't forgotten, and he even accused John Fury of being the reason why his son's loss occurred in the first place, referring to the embarrassing incident in Tyson Fury's corner. I'll make sure it doesn't work for you, YouTuber. Great video to car snake hurt you having plenty to say made on your little podcast channel. You know John Fury's run the bell for you again. Got you plenty of content and plenty of viewing figures, but yours after, but listen your mate. You call me out because you think you're now better than my son. Because of a loss you're nothing to him, Tyson would be back and win the rematch, and you'll be in shame. George Groves said something very interesting to you and me when we were at the stadium. He said, anyone should be ashamed to have a father like you. That's so embarrassing you literally ruined your son he lost, because you always want to steal the show, and you've done it by doing the most embarrassing thing. You headbutt your opposing team and shout over your son till he lost. Don't even come for me, you'll regret it. Tells me what kind of a man KFR is a freaking __. House he knows better than that. But at the end of the day, they've got to discredit Tyson to make themselves look better. You know what I'm saying, John Fury, then fired again. Before going off, you have no business with whatever happens in the corner. And I think you should leave my son out of your mouth. You can't survive without him. You're my next victim, little man. Then furious, Fury said, you won't survive it, old man. You be on the ground before I raise a finger. It turns out that both fighters are taking the rumors of a fight seriously after they made vague mention of it a few months ago. Intriguing you and me when in front of a 93,000-person stadium. Let's put it this way. You've had plenty to say, and I'll stand by every word I've said. This happened after Fury was enraged by the Cobra's criticism of his son Tyson's resume and threatened to kick him in the butt when he saw him. However, Fury Sr. said he would not do such a thing. So Fury Sr. made the offer to fight Tyson in front of 90,000 spectators at Wembley Stadium.